But guys, right here we have the Chaos Shadow, okay? This is the poison boss, and we are trying to reach the 22 million damage. Now, this team right here, okay? So this team can get very, very close to it. This is probably the most budget team that you're going to find for the Chaos Shadows, okay? This will be 3 rare champions, 2 epics to get to 22 million damage. Now, I've reached 21.5 million damage without having Theodore scrolled. And of course, I had the Rift Hourglass on him. But that's without scrolls. So what we're going to do this time around, we're quickly going to scroll him because I have some scrolls here. Hopefully, we're gonna be good with what we have. 8, okay. I need the rest for my lightning element team actually. So he's fully scrolled, and now we're gonna replace this on him and try to give him something else that will actually benefit us and bring more damage. And I'm actually looking at something like this, you know, increase that attack. And we are a bit low on accuracy, so I would like to get a bit of extra accuracy on him somehow, if we can possibly. Maybe something from gloves. So we're quickly gonna try to see if we have some better gloves, at least something that looks decent and might give us accuracy and might not make us lose all our crit damage. As an idea. So this makes us lose 23 crit damage for 92 attack, 14 accuracy. Not the best example. Seems like we don't... Okay, this one. Please give me accuracy. Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. New blue shirt guy. What's up, buddy? How is it going? Come on, man. Can we have one with crit damage, attack, and accuracy? I'm gonna have to be a bit short on... You know what? I'm gonna be short on accuracy. I have the lead from what's her name? Sigrid, so I'll be fine. Basically, what you guys need to keep in mind when we are talking about Ripecast, okay? He is very annoying. He's very, very annoying, and the whole idea is to make him use his AoE on your 2 champions in here, okay? So, initially, I had a clanmate that told me, Skratch, why you don't put 2 melee heroes? You're gonna be able to distract the boss, and you can do it without 2 melee heroes. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing exactly to make it work, and he has this AoE, which is pretty nasty, and again, very similar like in the run with the fire team that I showed you guys. We're gonna be able to do the exact same thing here. Prioritize, make the boss to prioritize only our 2 champions here at the front. So I have Exandra with resistance, okay, and I built her as a tank. You see, she has a lot of HP, not the craziest defense. She does have the Platinum Knight Shield, which will basically reduce the AoE damage that she's taking because she's not as tanky as a Frorbart. I do have on him the Witch's Remains for defense down. I really think it would have been much, much better on Eli, honestly, but I'm trying to see if he has a decent build as he is. I'm going to test him a bit more to see if I can find a better build for him, honestly. So that's Frorbart right there tanking. And the rest, they need to be in the exact same positioning as you might see it right here. If no, Ripecast is going to target them with the AoE attack, okay? So keep that in mind. And I have an accuracy aura. Of course, I have the 5-man elemental affinity, 5 poison heroes. But let's get our first 22 million on the poison. Hopefully. I tend to reach the time limit, the 5 minutes, so we're going to have to survive for the entire thing. Now, the reason why I have Theodore here over many other heroes, I do have legendaries available as well, is because he brings me the decreased recharge speed penalty on the boss, and he brings me more attack down. So, together with that, together with Sigrid, together with Frorbart, I'm going to have enough decreased attack to keep her on the boss most of the times, okay, and be safe. Be safe and make sure the boss is not going to completely obliterate our team, you know. If we're quickly checking the damage here as well, Sigrid, of course, at the top of the food chain, we have Eli, not far away from her, and then of course Theodore getting closer and closer to Eli. You know, I do have a feeling that I could potentially improve the build on Eli to try to maybe give him some more attack or more crit rate next to what he has already. You kind of want to build him with a lot of enlightenment and attack. I've tried to give him those 2 stats, but at the same time, I would love to get some crit rate on him just to increase the damage even more, you know? Because the main issue that I had with this team, when I was using Vikana as a legendary champion together with Corvin, of course, both of them not being fully scrolled, not being scrolled at all, actually, I was not reaching more than 17 million damage, okay? And that was painful. And then I decided to play it a bit around differently, put in only 2 support rather than 3, and bring in extra damage dealers. Because unlike the fire element or the necrosis or even the radiance, where you have a lot of firepower, a lot of damage, right? You're lacking that a bit here with this element. So we are at 8 million damage in 1 minute and 50 seconds. So this should be over 22 million damage now with Theodore being fully scrolled, you know. And of course, it really matters how many crit hits we're getting from the rest. It matters to have that decreased speed penalty on the boss. Is very, very important, actually. It's massive. So all these will play a very important role in achieving our damage. But how you may notice is pretty close to the limit. And my gear kind of sucks. I'll admit that, you know. So you need to have over 300 resistance. You see, both my Flurbart and Hexandra have resistance. So they're basically tanking all the hits, okay? And I used to run before Etches as a tank as well, together with Flurbart. But the main issue that I had there, I didn't have enough healing, okay? I just didn't have enough healing, so I needed Hexandra to join in there together with Flurbart, just to bring that extra healing on, you know. So we keep that decreased speed penalty on. We have the decreased attack, and now that I fully scrolled Theodore, which I wanted to do quite a while ago, just because he's pretty important with that decreased speed penalty, you know. And I have a 100% chance to land that, with a 100% chance to land the decreased attack from him as well. This becomes more consistent than it was before, you know. You see, we have that decreased attack. I'm actually gonna tank Sigrid's hit with a decreased attack just for a little longer to make sure we are getting closer to landing it when we actually need it, you know. Okay, we didn't land the decreased attack there. I'm gonna have to tank Flurbart a bit actually instead. Just gotta make sure I'm tanking the decreased attack at the right time, you know, basically. I mean tanking, to put the decreased attack at the right time, sorry. Because if I don't, that's when the risk comes in play. Sigrid doesn't have a lot of accuracy, and because she doesn't have a lot of accuracy, sometimes she might put a decreased attack, sometimes she won't, and if she doesn't put it when we need it, we can basically get our ass whooped in here. But here we go. Theodore actually stepped up his damage quite a bit since I scrolled him. He got like 15% more damage from scrolls, but the main idea that was really important to have from him is having all that recharge speed penalty on and have the decreased attack more consistent next to the rest, just to ensure that our team is basically more successful. You know, it has a higher success rate in here. And how you may notice, we are at 5.2 million with him, 6.6 with Eli, and 8.5 with Sigrid. But we are literally at the limit. You see, we have 20 seconds left, and we barely just reached 22 million damage right now. But the main idea is job done. So this is another team that deals 22 million damage, and I will admit it will be a bit harder without the Witch's Remains, considering that I'm reaching the time limit for the 23 million damage. But I feel like if you don't have that, which is fine, either you will get very close to the 22 million, you might do a couple of tweaks on some of your heroes, maybe you have better gear than I have, because I'm honestly really unlucky. I'm not even messing around. I'm really unlucky with the gear. That will increase your damage a bit, you know, and kind of like compensate for the lack of Witches Remains, and you can use instead Crown of the Unclean, you know. But I feel like I'm definitely pretty satisfied that I actually scrolled Theodore in here, because he got the job done. 23.2 million damage. Before I've done this, I had a run with 21.5 million. So was basically a 15% improvement in damage for him, you know. So definitely happy with this. Of course, Eli's build can definitely get much better together with Sigrid's as well. I'm gonna show you the stats on all of the champions now and everything that I used, so you guys get a better idea, you know. I know we're doing it live on stream now, but this is only going to go live on YouTube tomorrow, you know, because I've done the fire one for today. So basically, if we're quickly going to check the stats on the champions that we use. No legendaries you've seen. So honestly, I don't think you'll find a better poison team to deal this sort of damage. You might be able to run a different tank in there instead of Hexandra, but you still need 3 damage dealers. So it really depends what damage dealers you basically have available, you know. I used Etches instead of Hexandra before. She has as well the decreased speed penalty right here, you know. But the problem is she was built as a tank. She wasn't doing damage, and she wasn't staying alive together with Frorbart long enough because the healing from Frorbart was not enough on its own. So let's start with Theodore. I have him built on a Gambler. Everybody will be built on a Gambler when we are talking about damage dealers. But I'll show you how bad my gear is if you guys don't believe me, okay? So total stats, 4k attack. The survivability doesn't really matter on the back 3 heroes. It's the exact same strategy like on the fire element because they're not going to get hit, okay? They're not going to get hit. And because of it, you can give them as much attack, crit damage, crit rate as possible, okay? So we have 4k attack, 76 crit rate, 129 crit damage. You see what I'm talking about? This actually sucks, like literally. 174 accuracy, but I do have the 5-man elemental affinity that gives me 50 accuracy. I have the accuracy aura from Sigrid that gives me 36 more, and I have the alliance bonus that gives me more accuracy on top of it. So I have plenty of accuracy to deal with the boss on the other world event, you know. But look at this, look at this. This is the helmet as an example, you know. It doesn't look that great, you know. It's not bad, but doesn't look that great either. Then you have the weapon, which is probably the best out of all. And then you have the chest piece, no crit rate. I have enlightenment and flat attack on it, which is a shame. Then I have the gloves, crit rate gloves, because I don't have crit damage gloves to give me some crit rate. And then you go at the runes, no crit rate at all, double roll on flat HP, no attack percentage. It just literally sucks B, but I don't have better ones, you know. And this is the accuracy banner, which has triple on attack speed. He's not really gonna benefit that much from the attack speed because he's not a dauntless hero or anything crazy like that. But 4% crit rate. That's literally the best I can do for him. I'm so unlucky with the runes, and I haven't really farmed gear for the last 1 week and a half because everything went to the goblin to build more champions, you know. Then I do have Frorbart. So how I mentioned, he does have the witch's remains. If you are using the crown of the unclean, you will probably drop some of the damage. Now, I don't think you're gonna drop 5 million from the damage, but probably you're gonna drop 1.5 to 2 million damage. So you might have to increase the stats, the damage stats on the other champions. Okay, so keep that in mind. What is very important to have on Frorbart is resistance. You see the stats that I have on. So total stats, 80k HP, 3.7k defense. The more defense, the better. No crit rate, no crit damage. 236 accuracy, 329 resistance. Very, very important to don't get debuffed from the boss. So resistance is key. That's the strategy here. Then moving over to the other champions that we've used. So let's start with Hexandra, which was kind of like our other tank. She is built with a Platinum Knight shield. And she is built on pretty much the same stats like Frorbart. And we have total stats, 88k HP, 2.2k defense, and I have 360 resistance. If you have a lot of skill haste on her, it's good as well, it's helpful. I haven't went crazy with the enlightenment, you know. Resistance is key, but you only need over 300, and sometimes, of course, you're still gonna get debuffed, but aim to have over 300 resistance, basically, you know. Then, of course, we had Sigrid, the Eyeball of the Giant, another Gambler set on her as well, and even on Sigrid, my stats suck. Look at the crit damage. Other people get full crit rate, 200 plus crit damage, and the same amount of attack like me, just because they have better substats on their heroes. You know, it's on the gear. It's crazy, actually. 40k HP, which doesn't matter. 4.7k attack, 87 crit, 138 crit damage, 95 accuracy. So I'm too short on her accuracy to really make her consistent with the debuffs, you know, with the decreased attack. So if you could give her more accuracy, would be perfect. But I'm being really serious when I'm saying that if you guys got a bit luckier with the gear, you're just increasing the damage stats on them, and swapping the artifact and increasing the stats will literally bring you the same result, you know. And then we have Eli. I don't necessarily think that I have the best build for him. I'm definitely playing around a bit more with his builds to see what will bring me more damage. Maybe it's not the most efficient build, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it. And I've just noticed right now that I actually don't have a gambler set on him, which will bring me more damage as well, you know. So I don't know how I'm feeling about that. You see, I need to put a gambler set on him. Seems like I just missed it, or I don't know what I've done. But total stats: 5.4k attack, almost 5.5, 111 enlightenment, 48 crit rate, 95 crit damage, 166 accuracy. A bit of extra accuracy and crit rate would be perfect on his build. Of course, the more enlightenment, the more derivative damage we're going to do with his passive, you know. When dealing damage to enemies under poison, additionally deals 40% attack, derivative poison damage. So I increased the enlightenment, and basically I gave him a lot of attack at the same time. And the whole idea with him is that with the artifact that we have, the Harpy Snail, that should increase the passive skill damage even more by 20%, you know. So that's basically the strat on him. But here again, I could get more crit rate, I could get some enlightenment. This is an epic rune. Here as well, I have no attack percentage, I have no crit rate, no rolls on enlightenment. This would have been much better instead of that HP that I don't need, you know. So that's basically how it goes around with the gear that I have on the heroes. But I do have attack gloves on him, and I feel like that's it in terms of what champions we used. You've seen the run. We reached the time limit. We survived enough. 3 rare champions, 2 epics. I honestly don't think that it will get easier than this to deal the 22 million damage on this boss.